Hey, what's up, homies? So this week, well, when I say this week, what I mean is the last 7 days. So, we've gotten quite a few of these done. Now these are stainless steel ring. This one has an stabilized ash handle. We'll get back to that in a bit. See here we have clear curly birch, stainless steel ring, stainless steel blade. You saw the red one already. There's a second red one coming out the lab today. Still being worked on. Then we got the black curly birch. All this curly birch comes from these trees outside. It's all local. The blade is local. The stainless steel ring is local. The wood is literally from here. So, you know, this is as close to artisan as you're gonna see. And what I'm trying to do is kind of bridge a gap between like production and artisan. So, because I've always been fascinated by industrial production techniques, manufacturing techniques and stuff like that. So I like the idea of having like a system that's thought out, a system where, like, you know, the stages of production, there's a method for each stage. Basically, like if you were to walk into a Heckler & Koch or Sako, or replicate the processes that they have there. That's essentially what I'm trying to replicate, is some degree of engineering and manufacturing, but like artisan level, right? And that's what these are basically representing. And so all the materials on this, the stainless steel, the tubes that I use, you can actually see on this one here, right? They're all built the same. This one just doesn't have a bolster like these have at the front, which are actually held in place with 2 screws. So the red one actually has 4 screws at the front of the bolster. But otherwise they have screws. So the actual brass bolster is screwed in. You have to do that. Apart from the bolsters, bolsters ordered online on Brisa, so they come from like Lapland or something, but they're made in Finland too. Everything on this knife comes from within the nearby 20 square kilometers. All of it, every single component comes from just literally from like 5-minute driving distance, 10-minute driving distance, 5 if you're speeding. So, that's like a really cool aspect of the artisan aspect of these knives. And again, like I've said in so many videos, you gotta remake the same thing 1,000 times, because the first one's never gonna be great compared to like the 10th or the 20th or the 30th. Now I've made these before. I don't have an example here, but you can see maybe on my Instagram profile, hot_metal_knives. You can see like a long time ago, sort of the first iterations of how this product works out. I could do like a full wood, and I've done that, but it is appealing on camera. It is appealing on pictures, and a lot of guys on Instagram do it. Let's just take this, for example. Imagine that this is a full wood handle. Now, the front here, this is all the grains of the wood sticking out. And what happens when you're, using the knife heavily, is that that grain is actually going to dig itself into your skin and cause calluses. So one of the reasons why integral, drop forged integral manufacturing knives from the 20th century and actually even 19th century were conceived was because it's better on your fingers to have some metal there. So instead of having the extra weight of an integral bolster, and I haven't really done integral bolsters for a long time, but to me this is a better solution, But so we got the ring, the stainless steel ring over the wood, and I've said this in many videos. I've talked about it a lot. It's it's there to also keep the wood super strong. It's there to keep the handle long lasting. It's going to help mitigate the swelling and contracting of the wood significantly. You can see there. So when you look at a lot of old tools, when you look at a lot of chisels, gardening tools, cleavers, and a lot of just tools, general tools, simple tools. A simple tool is something that doesn't have any moving components. All of those, you'll see that it's actually super, super common to have some kind of ferrule, some kind of ring at the front. If you go into Asia, and you go into, say Cambodia, and you see how they make cleavers, and you see how they make machetes, they put a ring at the front, because you can't just have, a 600-700 gram piece of spring steel at the front of a piece of wood without anything holding the wood from splitting apart, because you're putting the tang in the wood. It's literally no different than having like a log splitting wedge. Imagine a log splitting wedge is your tang, and you're forcing that into the wood, and then you hit on the side of it. You're going to create some splitting, so the ring is there to prevent wood from splitting apart. When you're doing a rat tail, it's strongly advised that you put some kind of ring there, because especially on Bowie knives and stuff that's going to be used to, whack around, and especially with raw wood or like wood handles, like fibrous materials, natural materials. Anyway, you guys have heard me talk about that 1,000 times. So the customer ordered all of these. There's also going to be a complimentary Honosuke Santoku cross combo breed to complement each one of these blades. So there's going to be, one with a red handle, one with a black curly birch, and now the curly birch is from these trees. Like I said, all the materials from all these knives, it all comes from the local place. Like the stainless steel rings the stainless steel tubes that I got from the scrapyard, I think they used to be in a chocolate factory, like a Fatser chocolate factory, high pressure stainless steel, high tensile strength tubes, seamless inside as well, which is great. And, that's local. That's from around here, and the steel too, that's from a manufacturer up the road. It's all plasma, water cut locally, heat treated at the facility. I'm doing the bevels, grinding the bevels and the hand sanding, growing and collecting and drying and stabilizing the wood. So it's all really, really really cool. And the ash on this is also from up the road, Fiskars Village, from one of the finest carpentry, like cabinet maker, woodworking workshops in Finland. They make very famous products there. Minja Kolehmainen, who's a pretty popular cabinet maker, I think that's what they call themselves, but she makes all sorts of stuff. She was like, "Hey, do you want any of these cut off?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And this ash from Germany, this is the finest German ash. This is the finest ash in the world. I just looked at it, and the grain on the wood is like perfectly straight for a whole plank. So I got some of that and stabilized it, and it just looks fantastic. I'm so in love with this ash, but it's it's German wood. It's not it's not from Finland. It's from Germany, so it's not quite the same kind of vibe as this stabilized curly birch from here. Yeah. Very, very cool. The red one just stands out so much. Goes so well with the satin finish. But yeah, here they are. I mean, I'm just going to keep making these. Once I'm done with the red one, there's a second one of these coming out. Then I have to work on the complementary Santoku Honosuke for each one of these. So it's going to be quite a lot of work. But it's relaxing work. Another thing that's up on the table is I've been experimenting with decals. This won't be the production decal. This was just to play around with some things, because I noticed with some of the knives that I kind of feel like I want to have 2 finger grooves there. And then I had to experiment something with how to deal. Either I have a choil, or I have a choil that's also a finger groove. And I think that might be the best solution to the issue, because you don't really want to have a choil on your decal, because you're kind of cutting through stuff. But if you don't have a choil on your decal, you're going to have a nightmare sharpening it. So this is like the best solution, I think. So I'm going to try and go with something like that. That's just coming up in the book. So this is just a prototype to test a few things, but there's a whole bunch of decals that I forged yesterday. Rivet lock puukos. But yeah, there isn't really much more to say than that. I think the customer is going to be super happy with these. This one's actually not sold. This is available on the website. There's the curly birch one with the clear epoxy. Here's the red resin epoxy. And just really just every one of these that I make, quality improves, construction, manufacturing, all of it improves. It all gets better, it all gets smoother, it all gets just more and more refined. So I have almost 200 blanks for the long one. I have a lot, so there's going to be a lot more of these coming. I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of a insert there, just to kind of make it more unique. And that's really all there is to it. These are about 130 grams. They're basically a kitchen utility knife. The idea is you can use it for anything really that you want. Stainless steel is a must in modern day. The tip is really narrow, so you can actually get a lot of like work done. But the guy who ordered these, they do a lot of trout fishing. They've got Instagram channels and stuff like that. They do filming, all this kind of stuff, and they've been using it a lot for just like regular cooking of stuff, but also like a lot of fish work. So it's gonna be they've had the exact same profile blade with a different handle in the past, and they really loved it. That's why they came back. They just love the edge retention. This is some kind of 2% carbon, 20% chromium, 4% vanadium, super powder alloy, space age kind of steel. It's the edge retention on these modern stainless super steels is just insane. Can't really compete with that. It's just as insane as it gets. And the lovely thing with stainless steel is you can put these really nice satin finishes on them, and they just stay that way because the abrasion resistance is so high that they don't actually scratch so easily, and they don't patina or rust. So you can actually do like a lot of effort on the blade and put a lot of effort into a clean satin finish, and it's just going to stay there. So that's super, super duper cool. I like that a lot about stainless. I really like this red one. Here's the black. That's super cool. There's another black one. This is so finish, like 100%. This is like as finish as it gets. This is like Finlandia Oimame kind of designer stuff right here going on. But yeah, there's not much more to it than that. I had a lot of things to say, but I didn't totally forgot, because it's actually the third take on this video, and every time I retake, I just forget all the things I gotta say. But it's just like an update, what's going on. So hope you guys have a nice day.